Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of YemmyCast, a video game podcast on YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes. How you doing today? It's a pretty hot day today, so I have the fan on, and this is not going to take long. The intro is not going to take too long because I recorded a little game. PlayerTwo, who was one of my best friends from the Welshland, has made a game for me to play, so we went ahead and played that, and it was pretty good. I think I'm going to make a lot of people kind of angry in this one. Hopefully the backlash isn't too bad, because these are just my personal opinions, and I go over why and all that. You'll find out what the game is in a minute. I just want to let you guys know that yes, there is news this weekend, but I'm holding it off until the weekend. I'm kind of going back to a more traditional style with this one, and just having the weekend podcast just be a fun time. You know, no news or anything like that. Just two bros talking it out about video games. Also, Spotify. I uploaded my recent album, the Space Ferret album, on Spotify. It is available now on Spotify, so you can go there, type in Space Ferret, and my album will pop up. So you don't have to go to SoundCloud, don't have to listen to it on YouTube. You can listen to it on Spotify right now, which is pretty exciting news for me personally. I mean, I never thought that I would put it on Spotify, but right now it's only on a year contract, so once the year is up, it will be taken down unless I see numbers on Spotify. So if you want to listen to it on Spotify, do it now. Let me know that you want it on Spotify, and maybe it'll stay on Spotify, and maybe I'll put out future albums on Spotify as well. But thank you for listening on whatever platform you're listening on. If you're here for the premiere on Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, thank you so much. I may not be there for the whole thing. I may be there for pieces here and there, talking to people, because me and my fiance are going to go to a reptile show on Sunday morning. So, might possibly not be able to join for too long, but I will, be there and thank everyone for coming and all that stuff, because, I like premiering my podcasts, and a lot of times it nets more views and more watch time than if I just upload it as a regular video. Plus, you negate the comments like, cool job, nice vid, bro, stuff like that. Anyways, I am YemmytheFerret, and thank you for watching this episode of YemmyCast, a video game podcast featuring PlayerTwo. Now on with the show. Start right now, and if you want to just hold up one, two, three fingers and say 1, 2, 3.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
I actually didn't need you to do that.
It doesn't matter.
Get
I've done
pranked!
I've done it.
Get absolutely pranked,
Where's
bro!
Ashton Kutcher? I've just got punked! God damn it.
And now, joining me on this podcast for the first time, he's had quite the track record on the other podcast I have done in the past. He was on that one about 4 times? Jesus Christ. So let's get him on the podcast. He's the man with the mask who smokes a lot of grass. Unconfirmed. It's Boobert. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello. How are we doing, Mr. Ferret?
I am very good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very good. I'm very excited to be on this podcast. I'm very excited to be where I mainly get the vast majority of my gaming news.
Oh, you're going to make me blush. I can't have that kind of red on camera now, P2. So, if you guys don't know, Boobert's real name is PlayerTwo. He runs a YouTube channel. He does videos every so often. He does a news show monthly, and I'm actually a part of it, along with Vex Exists and Iovio and the Scythers. So if you want to, you can check that out monthly. We don't know when it will be put out, even us who are in the podcast.
It's still monthly, just not, what month it is. Who knows?
Yeah. we usually get them about a half a month late to the news, so that's all right though. It's all right though. It's still
never, right?
It's still quality content. But yeah, I think I have one question for you, P2. Are you ready to go?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
All right. Tell me what's up.
Right, so you asked me to do a sort of video game special of selecting basically a Would You Rather video game edition. Now, because I know that you're a man of a plethora of video games, your knowledge
Big word, P2.
You know a lot about games.
Okay, thanks.
What I thought that I would do for you is to create a tournament-styled knockout where you select games. Now, what I've tried to do is go through classic games and then anything that is remotely similar. So one of the examples I'll give you is Left 4 Dead and Resident Evil, okay?
Okay.
Now,
yeah.
so what I'll do is this 32 game franchise that I've sort of researched and sort of know that you're interested in and know that they're sort of, you know, popular by sort of societal standards. So what I've done is I've pitched them together as closely as possible, or in terms of how well known they are. You have to pick one of them to go through. The other will be eliminated from history forever.
Oh,
okay?
Jesus.
Ultimately, leaving us with only one gaming franchise which you will decide upon. Okay? Now, yeah, so there's a lot riding on your shoulders. Now, for the sake of your audience, you can see that I've actually created a physical template of this knockout style tournament because I had, you know, 15 minutes spare to do this.
Yeah, too much time.
So, without further ado, would you like to get into it? I will give you the two options. You give me whatever reasoning behind them. The way that I've tried to sort of narrow them down is to do them by, in a way, franchise rather than a specific game from that franchise. Does that make sense?
That makes sense to me.
Because I thought it'd be easier for me to do it that way rather than pick my favourite version of that game, which may not be the best version. Okay?
Yes, exactly.
Right, so...
Any examples of that?
Well, we'll just dive straight in, Mr. Ferret, and we're going to see straight away. Your first bracket is Far Cry versus Assassin's Creed.
Ooh. Okay. Because both of these game series have some real stinkers in them.
Yeah.
I would probably rate Far Cry 5 the lowest out of all the Far Cries. Me personally. Also, I think like Far Cry 2 is a pretty big stinker too. But they kind of redeemed themselves with like 3 and 4. Primal, I know a lot of people don't like Primal, but I'm one of those people who was like, yes, I like stabbing people with spears in the first person's perspective.
Yeah.
And Assassin's Creed, on the other hand, has had some of my favorite video games of all time, like Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Black Flag. They've kind of done a revival of the series with Origins and Odyssey, even though Origins I'm kind of stuck on. I don't have the patience to get through it right now. But I think out of those two, I'd probably save Assassin's Creed.
Oh, very interesting. Okay. Your next sort of bracket, then, shall we say, is Call of Duty versus Battlefield.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, I haven't made this easy with you, okay? I know what you're like. So it's only going to get difficult, okay? This is really going to make you choose what is the best franchise. And then we're going to see if your audience, the beloved people watching this premiere right now, agree with your choices.
Yeah, if they don't kill me or they let me live. That's. Did you have a name for this? I don't think you said the name.
Oh, is there like
no overarching name?
Oh, no, maybe... I tell you what, as you're going through your thing, I'll have a little think.
All right. Think, P2. Think so hard that your mask starts to smoke.
Okay.
All right, so Call of Duty versus Battlefield. Ooh, this is a tough one because there's a lot more Call of Duty games than there are Battlefield games. So there's more of a pool for Call of Duty games to be bad. Whereas Battlefield, it's like, yeah, this one was not as good. Sure, this one was kind of shit, but I would say like probably the worst Battlefield game is probably Battlefield Hardline, just because they took out so much of that like customization and map options and stuff like that. I thought it was a real stinker. But on the other hand, Call of Duty has had like 5 stinkers in a row. I really hated Black Ops 4. I disliked Black Ops 3. I thought Infinite Warfare was like meh. Advanced Warfare was like eh.
Yeah.
Ghost obviously was. I mean, it had the name Ghost, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, the Ghost from Modern Warfare 2," and it's like, gotcha.
Thanks for buying the game.
Yeah. Geez, I think out of the two, Call of Duty and Battlefield. See, the problem is, I think I've had a lot of fun with Call of Duty in the past, like Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty United Offense, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3, the Black Ops 1 and 2, great games. Call of Duty World War 2 is even a great game too, but then on the other hand, it's like, I've played Battlefield games longer. Like, even though, like, Modern Warfare 3 and 2 and World War 2, I played through their whole lifespan, I play Battlefield games past the end of their life. So Battlefield 1 I was still playing. Battlefield 4 I played years after that one. Yeah. And also, don't forget about the Battlefield 5. They steadily keep doing things to it to make me go back to it, but not as much. So I would probably have to go with Battlefield on this one, simply because it is more of an experience rather than Call of Duty, where right now I just keep getting yelled at by people.
Well, I must say I'm kind of shocked at that one. When
shocked.
When I came up with that one, I thought Call of Duty was just going to slightly edge it, I think. But,
no, I think the main factor is Call of Duty has kind of gone downhill pretty fast, and Battlefield has kind of kept Battlefield has kept its quality up. Even though since Battlefield 3 there hasn't been as much customization, I think that in terms of like microtransactions and gameplay and maps and stuff to do, I think Battlefield has been more consistent with its quality.
Fair decision. I'm going to name this game because obviously we're eliminating quite a lot of games. So, you know, Far Cry has already been obliterated from human history, as now has Call of Duty.
360 no-scoped.
So I'm going to call this the one game to rule them all.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Fire.
Yeah. So your next bracket, and I think this is going to be a clean sweep here, but I'll be interested because I'm not sure personally. Both of these games, my only knowledge is one of them. Without you, I doubt I still would have heard of it, which, you know, I'm happy to admit. Your choices are Bloodborne versus Dark Souls.
Bloodborne? I don't even have to discuss this one.
Again, I was just going for ones that were similar, but have a big sort of cult following at the same time. So
I feel like between these two games, Dark Souls 1, Demon Souls, and Dark Souls 2 are three of my least favorite games I've ever played. Okay. One, because the difficulty is very high, but two, because the games just don't make sense to me. Dark Souls 3, on the other hand, I love that game. I played it so much, I almost got the platinum, but I wimped out on it.
Okay.
Bloodborne, on the other hand, is a game that I love so much that I got the platinum. I've played it so many freaking times. It's starting to rival games like Borderlands and Banjo-Kazooie. So, you know, Bloodborne all the way on this one.
Okay. Your next bracket, then, is Mario Kart.
I'm about to get so many hate comments from the Dark Souls community.
Mario Kart versus Super Smash Brothers.
Ooh. A racing game versus a fighting game.
Only because I was going for one that is so worldwide popular that I was trying to somewhat, like, because I don't know how else I could, you know, match up a Mario game to. I don't think anything really comes close to it, so I needed to sort of sub-faction it, so that's why I've chosen that one in particular.
Understandable. I think between the two games, Mario Kart, of course, I play a lot. I mean, I as soon as I got the Switch, the first game that was on the Switch that I got was Mario Kart 8, because when I sold my Wii, I was like, that was literally the only game I was playing besides from Mario Maker, or my Wii U, I'm sorry. So I got that one first. And with Smash Brothers, like, yeah, I'm really excited. I really like this new one, Ultimate. It's great.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have that same feel that like Melee did, or the Smash Brothers. What was the one on Wii called? I forget what that one was called. But a lot of people don't like the Wii version one. All right, I do. Brawl, I think was called, right? Yes, Super Smash Brothers Brawl. So I think. Out of how much... Oh, jeez, because it's like I've had like equal fun on both games, because Mario Kart, you can go through all the courses several times, doing the different difficulties. Smash Brothers, you're just kind of learning the game, going through stuff. I think I'm gonna go with Mario Kart on this one.
Ooh.
I think so.
Wowzers. What do you think about that then, Premier folk? Jeez Louise. Right, next one now. I personally think I know which one you're going to go for, but I'm wondering how much of outside pressure you might feel. Okay, so your choices are...
You know I'm never pressured by the outside.
Your choices are Borderlands,
Uh-oh.
and it's up against Elder Scrolls, so like the sort of Skyrim and, you know, all those kind of franchise games as well. So Borderlands versus Elder Scrolls for your next bracket, sir.
Borderlands.
Oh, straight in
You see, You see, I've only played Skyrim from the Elder Scrolls series. I played Elder Scrolls Online a little bit. I was like, yeah, this is not for me.
Yeah.
And I've only played Skyrim. And Skyrim has been around for so long. It's gotten so many remakes. I'm just bored and tired of Skyrim.
Fair enough.
Maybe if the next Elder Scrolls game comes out and I play it and I go, wow, this is amazing, maybe we could turn the tables here. But there hasn't been a new Elder Scrolls game. Well, yeah, it's probably not for me personally. I mean, hell, I've spent $200 plus already on Borderlands 3.
Boy, right.
So, yeah, Borderlands is it.
Okay.
Borderlands 1, 2, and the pre-sequel are all quality games, and I am so hyped for Borderlands 3 that I just want it now. I want to caress it, hold it in my hands, give it a little smoochy, you know.
Okay, your next bracket is Left 4 Dead versus Resident Evil.
You see, this is an interesting one because I didn't get into Resident Evil until after I had played Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
And the first Resident Evil game that I played was Resident Evil 4, which when I was a kid, I didn't like it because I was scared.
Yes.
And then Resident Evil 5 came around, and me and my friend were like, oh, let's get it. It's spooky. Well, that one's not too bad. And then Resident Evil 6 came around, and it's like, wow, this is complete shit.
Oh.
But Resident Evil 7 was a good, back to the basics on Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil 2, the remake, is like beautiful.
I
mean, I love that so much. And then you go on the other hand, you got Left 4 Dead here, and Left 4 Dead is a great arcade game.
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead 2, the company Valve fought back against Xbox so hard about making the DLC paid DLC.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to do it for free for so long, but eventually had to fold. But in the long run, even though Left 4 Dead is really, really fun, and I did a whole series on Left 4 Dead on my channel, I think that Resident Evil might have an edge on Left 4 Dead simply because it is more of a spooky experience, and in that sense, you will get probably a better experience out of it. Me personally, yes, I have gotten a better experience from Resident Evil, but I still love Left 4 Dead to death.
But you're erasing one from human history, and one is still in the race to be the one game to rule them all. Which one is going through?
Resident Evil.
Okay. Right.
Uh-oh.
As we move
P2's
in,
disappointed.
Nah, I'm only disappointed because I was the same as you. That I was too scared to play Resident Evil. I didn't like the camera angles. I found it really difficult to actually survive. So when it came to sort of like zombie games, Left 4 Dead was my first real sort of taste of a zombie game that I actually enjoyed playing, and I liked the arcade kind of feel with it, of it being a bit kind of slapstick as well as serious.
Right.
So that's why I was biased there. Right, okay. Next bracket, you have Spyro the Purpley Boy versus Sonic the Blue Boy.
Oh, this is a bad matchup because I haven't played a good Sonic game. And that's gonna anger some people, but I never played the original 3. I never played the Sonic Mania game, even though I want to. But Spyro the Dragon, even though I think 2 and 3 are kind of ass, this first Spyro game is so beautiful and so well done. I got to give it to Spyro.
Spyro's going through. Well, the next one, we're off to other kind of solo adventurers, where we have Mario versus Zelda.
You see, just like with the last one, I haven't played that many Legend of Zelda games.
I'm looking forward to seeing these comments.
I started Breath of the Wild. I've started Ocarina of Time. I've started Wind Waker. But the games don't keep me like they keep a lot of people. Whereas Mario games, Mario Odyssey, Mario Galaxy 2, Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, these are games that I've gone through so many times that I could probably remember them blindfolded. So you gotta send your boy Mario through.
It's me, Mario is going through. Okay, next one. So when I've gone through these franchises, I've tried to sort of cover all of my bases, right? So the next couple, I don't know if they, not so much the next one, but the next couple after that, not necessarily your kind of genre, but I think they'll still be games that you will have some kind of level of involvement with. Okay, so I've just tried to cover all bases here, right? So your next one is Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat.
Oh, see, this is another no contest for me. Mortal Kombat is like the winner right away, right out the gate. Street Fighter 5 disappointed me so much that I just I can't go back and play the series anymore. But with Mortal Kombat, I haven't been disappointed by a game yet. Sure, I've been disappointed by storylines and not having certain characters and stuff like that, like Sector and Mortal Kombat 11. I'm still very disappointed that he's not a part of the game. But I would definitely still give it to Mortal Kombat. The graphics look better.
Yeah.
The fatalities are brutal and amazing.
Incredible.
And I like the characters better. I think that the characters are much more imaginative than Street Fighter.
I think when I was younger, Street Fighter was more of a bigger influence, like with classical, like arcade machine games.
Right.
Like Street Fighter would be like the game that I would pick over Mortal Kombat, just for sort of like the story mode of it, I suppose. But obviously more recently, Mortal Kombat is just how they've been able to maintain that kind of plateau of just always surprising people, the level of gore and the level of, you know, variant on kind of finishing moves and stuff like that. How these people keep coming up with these ideas, I don't know. Bonkers. But the next one, like I said, I'm not sure if it's necessarily your forte. I know that you've dabbled in it, but potentially not massively. You are choosing to send through either Madden or NBA.
Oh, two gross games.
Yes, I know, but one of them has to live.
You see, I like American football better than I like a basketball myself.
Yeah.
So even though I don't like either of these games, I think the quality of both of these games have gone way downhill in the past few years, especially Madden, because those are the ones I play.
Yeah.
I like American football. Like I keep saying American football to respect your culture, P2. But I gotta put through Madden. It's tough though because I hate both those game series.
Okay, we're starting to fill out these brackets now. We're coming towards the tail end, and then we've got obviously the new matchups. Then,
all right.
Your next one, Gran Turismo. Don't know if you've ever played that. That was one of the first sort of racing games I had. Versus Need for Speed.
Oh man.
Now, to me, this is a very, very easy decision. But then, obviously, our culture over here would have incorporated slightly different games and slightly different whatever. But I remember PS2 days for this game in particular. So,
see, because PS2 days for me with Need for Speed were really good. But if you had switched out Need for Speed for Burnout, Burnout would have won in this scenario against Gran Turismo, but because Gran Turismo is such a superior racing game in general to Need for Speed, you gotta give it to Gran Turismo.
Wow, I would have gone Need for Speed personally.
Oof.
Because, like I said,
have you played the last like three games?
No,
They're just.
This is what I mean. I'm talking from when I was like 14, PS2, where you could like customize all the cars. It beautiful. And I'm not even bothered by cars in any way, but for some reason that game was like so good, right? Okay.
Well, Need for Speed Underground and stuff like that are really, really good games. Yeah. And if that was where Need for Speed ended, maybe Need for Speed would have won. But Need for Speed kept going, and
they ruined it.
Yeah, they kind of killed themselves.
Right. I think you may anger a lot of people with the next bracket.
Who haven't I angered so far?
You have to select either Red Dead or Fallout.
Here's the problem with this one, and I'm about to get fucking fucked with this answer, because I thought Red Dead 2 was a very boring and lackluster experience.
I heard that a lot.
But I mean, Red Dead 1 is like such a good experience. I gave that game a 10 out of 10 when it first came out.
Oh, dang.
And I played that game so much that I red ringed my Xbox 360. But on the other side of things, is like Fallout 3 is such a great game. Fallout New Vegas is amazing. Yeah. Fallout 4 is teetering on the edge of being good and bad. Fallout 76 is complete trash. I don't know if you would... See, if it wasn't for Fallout 76, maybe Fallout might have taken the edge on this one, but I definitely feel like Red Dead, because it's only got 2 games in the series, one of them is exceptionally good, so good that I can't let it go to waste, and then you got Red Dead 2, which is like, I could pass on that one. Maybe I'm probably gonna get back to it eventually, play through it again. But I just felt like it was almost like an Assassin's Creed experience where there was a lot of walking, a lot of talking, a lot of things going on that didn't really matter to the story as a whole. And eventually, when you get to the end, nothing really comes to conclusion as well as you would like it to. And also, they started the game in like the worst place ever. You don't know any of these characters; they're all mourning people. It's like, why don't you just start us in the big fight in Blackwell and then get to this part? Like, have the cooldown from the scene. I don't know. That's just me. But I know I just bitched for like 5 minutes about Red Dead, but if we're going to push Red Dead through, because I think that the quality is still better than the Fallout series. Fallout, those games come out, they're broken, they're terrible. In terms of like glitches and how the load times, holy shit, load times. Especially with Fallout 76. Even though I didn't personally hate it as much as a lot of other people, I still thought it was a weak experience.
Fair enough. Okay, we're moving on now. I want to go on record as well, saying I know that I will have missed out big games. For example, Grand Theft Auto is not included in this franchise.
Oh, wow.
It's because I wanted to try and personalize it to you as well, if you see what I mean. And then I'd already thought of 32. It was starting to hurt my brain trying to think of more. So, right. Okay. Your next bracket is Pokemon versus Yu-Gi-Oh!
Pokemon versus Yu-Gi-Oh! See, the thing about this is, I think the card games, like if we were comparing card games, we're comparing video games. The card games, I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a superior card game.
Yeah.
But in the video game world, Pokemon definitely has an edge over Yu-Gi-Oh! I feel like in Yu-Gi-Oh! the AI likes to cheat a lot.
True.
the heart of the cards, everyone. Oh, I just pulled 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons in a row. Oopsie. The heart it's all random. Heart of the cards. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Pokemon on this one.
No problem. Okay, your next one is Doom versus Mass Effect.
Fuck.
Yes! That's the reaction I was looking for, people.
We're oofing and goofing here. Yeah. Oh, man. Because I love Doom, but I also love Mass Effect.
Even when I wrote that down, I was so proud of myself. It was almost like going on the CV. I was like, do you know what? Made Yemmy oof.
See, Doom has had such a good track record. Like, the first one I played was Doom 2. Beautiful game.
Yeah.
Doom 3, pretty good. Doom Remake, hella good. Hella
good.
Alright, hella good. Doom Eternal looks to be even more good. Mass Effect 1's a little clunky, but I love it. Mass Effect 2 is is my most played game ever. Mass Effect 3 is my second most played game ever because I just was doing so many things in Mass Effect 2 that make changes in Mass Effect 3, and you could see those changes happening. People hated the ending in that one. Me personally, I was like, it's fine. Especially with the director's cut and stuff like that. Yeah. I felt like it was okay. And then Andromeda came around and landed a big shit pile. The shit was so big you couldn't flush the toilet. It was awful. But I gotta go with Mass Effect because even though Doom is amazing, I love it. Mass Effect is one of those games that I can't stop playing again and again and again. Whereas Doom, it's like I went through the game like 3-4 times each of them. I was done.
Like.
Well,
big truth bombs being dropped here. Right, we're moving in now to our final little bracket we have here. All right. And yeah, it's going to be interesting because some of the other matchups we've now formed are going to be very interesting. So your next one here is Metal Gear, and the only reason I've named it that is because obviously in the earlier games it was Metal Gear and then Solid Snake, and then as they've come up it's Metal Gear Solid. So I've just called it Metal Gear versus Hitman.
This one's bad, because I don't like Hitman.
No?
But I also have not played enough Metal Gear Solid to say that it's a great franchise. But I have, like, out of all the Hitman games I played the one that was, like, the episodic one.
Yeah.
And that sucked. But on the other hand, the only game from, what's their face? What was the game called again?
Which one?
The one we're going against.
For Hitman and Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear. The only game from Metal Gear Solid I played was the Phantom Pain, and that was spectacular. So you got to give it to Metal Gear Solid, based on those two that I've played
personally.
Yeah.
Again, back to the sort of PS2 days. I had MGS 1, 2, and 3 were like my main games. Solid Snake, Snake Eater, just classic games. I couldn't say I've played much of sort of 5. I think is it 5, and then All the kind of newer versions. I haven't really played those, but we're now in the final bracket of the original starting frames here.
The original 152.
Yeah, and your choices are Crash Bandicoot versus Banjo and Kazooie. Let's have a think, everyone. Which one Yemmy might actually pick?
See, this sucks because Banjo-Kazooie, the original game, is so freaking good that I have nothing negative to say about that original game.
What about Banjo-Tooie, though?
Fast forward to Banjo-Tooie, and I have lots to say about that game. Fast forward to Nuts and Bolts, I have even more to say about that game. Fast forward to Yooka-Laylee, I have even more to say about that game. And it pains me to do it, but I think Crash Bandicoot has had a better track run in games-wise, because Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3 are great games. Wrath of Cortex is amazing. Twinsanity, I loved that game when I was a kid. Crash Team Racing, can't go wrong with that. But then you look at Banjo-Kazooie's track record and you go, okay, we have one perfect masterpiece. But then we have 3 huge duds following it. I'm going to have to go with Crash Bandicoot.
Oh my god. Did not see that coming. I wanted to put like a tough one up against it, but wow. Okay. Wow. Right, so the first bracket is done. Now we're going to have some weird kind of mismatches here now, but it's going to sort of make you narrow it down. So your first selection, we're going back to the top of our tournament bracket here. You've got Assassin's Creed versus Battlefield.
And with this one, I'm not going to explain my choices as deeply as I did before. Yeah. I feel like I got to go with Assassin's Creed on this one, just because out of the 2 game series, I've had, like I said before, some of my favorite games ever came from Assassin's Creed. Whereas Battlefield, yes, I love those games, and I've had a lot of great experiences with them. I wouldn't put them in the top 5, top 10 tier list for games. Whereas like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, that's like number 4 or 3 on my list.
Good choice.
So Assassin's Creed is getting the hidden blade in the chest.
Nice. Okay.
Wait, no, Battlefield's getting the hidden blade in the chest because they're dying.
Alright, your next one is Bloodborne versus Mario Kart.
Well, Bloodborne.
Okay.
This was a very strange matchup, but
yes.
Yeah, I'd go with Bloodborne on this one.
Okay, next one is Resident Evil versus Borderlands.
Well, Borderlands is going up now.
Oh, we're smashing through it now. Okay, your next one is Spyro versus Mario.
Well, Mario. Because, like I said, Spyro games, after the first one, just like Banjo-Kazooie, went so downhill that it ran themselves into the ground. So we gotta go with Mario on this one.
Okay. I almost sound a little bit foolish asking you the next one, but Mortal Kombat or Madden?
Oh, Mortal Madden.
Mortal Madden Combat.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? American football game and like somebody's just doing like the Shao Kahn finisher where someone's head is going through there.
They made a game called was it Super Mutant Football or something like that, which is kind of like that, which is pretty fun. But that's not a Madden game, so fuck it. We'll go with Mortal Kombat on this one.
Okay, your next one: Gran Turismo versus Red Dead.
Red Dead.
Okay. Your next one: Pokemon versus Mass Effect.
Mass Effect.
Ooh. And then your last one of this one is Metal Gear versus Crash Bandicoot.
Well, we're going with Crash Bandicoot.
All right. We're going to speed this up now because it's really coming to crunch time here, Mr. Ferret.
Here we go.
Assassin's Creed versus Bloodborne.
Assassin's Creed, because there's more games in the series.
My word!
There's more games that I like about, because Bloodborne, I love Bloodborne, but it's only one game.
Did not see Assassin's Creed getting that far. Okay. Borderlands versus Mario.
I'd probably go with Borderlands, because even though I love Mario games, Borderlands 1, 2, I've played those games so many times, you can't even count them on my feet.
Okay, your next one is Mortal Kombat versus Red Dead.
Mortal Kombat. Red Dead, as I said before, has one really great game and one stinker, whereas Mortal Kombat kind of has a consistency after the reboot. Okay, the reboot afterwards is pretty consistent. We're not talking about Mortal Kombat versus DC. We don't talk about that here.
We then have Mass Effect versus Crash Bandicoot.
Wiggy. I'm gonna go with Mass Effect because even though I love the Crash Bandicoot games and they're classic platformers, Mass Effect, of course, I've played more, and then there's more depth to a Mass Effect game. It's a hard comparison there.
Yes, we're now into the semi-finals of your one game to rule them all, Yemmy.
Oh, mama!
It's Borderlands versus Assassin's Creed.
Well, Borderlands is gonna knock Assassin's Creed out of its place.
Okay, and then your other semi-final is Mortal Kombat versus Mass Effect.
You cut out on me there.
Oh, saying your other semi-final is Mortal Kombat versus Mass Effect.
Gonna go with Mass Effect on that one.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, you're coming at me with all these different things I did not expect here.
Well,
Wow.
just like with the last game that Mortal Kombat Mass Effect was put up against. Like, Mortal Kombat, you play those games and then you're done with them. Mass Effect, I played them so many times, I know every line of dialogue in Mass Effect 2 by heart.
The thing is now, Yemmy, we're down to the final two.
Yes,
One
yes, sir.
game will rule them all.
One game will.
Every other game can never be played again.
That's true.
It is Borderlands versus Mass Effect.
What's your prediction, P2?
I'm going to say Borderlands here.
Well, you would be correct. I think
Wow.
Borderlands is, like, Mass Effect is great,
Yep.
but Andromeda killed the series, and
it's just not
EA killed the
Borderlands.
series. But Borderlands has still been quality from the first game. And with Borderlands 3 coming out, it's hard not to be excited for it with how good the rest of the catalog is. If another Mass Effect comes out, like Andromeda 2, God forbid, I'm not going to be so excited about it. Sure, I'll still buy it day one, but am I going to buy a $200 version of it? Hell no. Hell no.
Well,
And,
Mr. Ferret,
the Mass Effect Andromeda Super whatever edition came with a little car and a remote, and it didn't come with the game.
Wow, that's good.
There you go.
Well,
So-
we can officially say now, everyone who is watching this premiere right now, that Borderlands is the one game to rule them all. Throw everything else away. That is the only game you're now allowed to play.
Every other game,
because
just throw it in the
Yemmy said
garbage.
so.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, exactly.
What
There
game
we
were
go,
you?
sir.
What game from the beginning were you expecting to win in this one?
I thought Banjo-Kazooie would have pipped Crash Bandicoot for you from a personal point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect Mass Effect to get half as far out as it did.
Far out, bro.
Yeah, far out, man. No, I did not expect it to reach the final, to be perfectly honest. I'm not so surprised to see it beat Doom. Maybe a little surprised to see it beat Pokemon, and very surprised to see it beat Mortal Kombat. Based on what I think that you would have originally chosen before, but
Right.
it's a nice little tournament fixture there, and I'm personally pleased that Borderlands came out on top because there's some very difficult choices in there, which you
There
were
was.
very ruthless with, and you needed to be.
Yes. we need to stab hard and fast. Can't
Hell
be
yeah.
any bleeding out here. So P2, I have one question for you.
Yes, sir.
Would you rather Fortnite dance everywhere you go, or be forced to carry every single gun in every single Doom game on your back?
I think I would rather Fortnite dance everywhere, purely because Doom has about 50 guns, and obviously in the UK I'd get arrested pretty darn quickly. So I'll stick
true.
with Fortnite.
All right, last one here. Would you
Okay.
rather try and kiss Kratos? You know Kratos from God of War.
Yep.
Or be stuck in Master Chief's helmet and have him have to rip it off your head? I think either way your head's getting ripped off here, but
Yeah, I think,
which
I
way
think so
which
too.
way you want to go out?
I think that I'm gonna kiss Kratos. I think it'd be quicker.
A little smoochy woochy on Kratos.
A little smooch. Quicker death.
All right, Boobert.
Okay.
There's a running gag on the show here,
Sure.
where you have to ask Mr. Predict. You don't have to. I shouldn't say you have to, but would you like to ask Mr. Predicto a question, and he will answer them as honestly as he can?
Definitely. Is he in the local vicinity or?
Oh, he's here.
Okay, okay. Good one here.
That's kind of creepy.
Will PlayerTwo do a face reveal this year?
Ooh, oh, Mr. Predicto, will P2 reveal himself?
The answer is yes.
Ooh! Oh boy, he's getting to 1,000 subscribers this year, boy!
Did not expect that.
There we go. Well, Mr. Predicto has been accurate about 50% of the time, so we'll see how this goes.
So 50% of the time it works every time.
50%, yes. All right, PlayerTwo, where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitter and YouTube as well. So you can find me at PlayerTwo at P2 and PlayerTwo YT. If you check that out, that would be really, really much appreciated. But I'd also like to say a massive thing to Yemmy's YemmyCast. He put so much work into it. It's really, really epic, and just kudos to you, man. Excellent work.
Good work yourself. That was a fun game to play. Really stressed my mental capacity on that one.
No, you were good, man. You smashed it.
Good. All right. Well, hey, this has been another episode of YemmyCast, a video game podcast. It premieres Wednesdays at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, and Sundays, which is this one, at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time as well. So check it out if you want to. It's available on all other platforms the same day. So, as always, I am YemmytheFerret. I've been here with Boobert, a.k.a.
PlayerTwo.
And this has been another episode of YemmyCast, a video game podcast.